every part of the spectrum in terms of their ability to give. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, the next one up is going to be Ray, and this is an explanation and then a question. In an informal setting, GOP party officials, past and present, have stated that resolutions expressed at the conventions don't really matter. The question is, what is the significance of the resolutions as a whole, and likely, why would these officials make such a statement?
So I just went to my first convention, yay Ray. I'm going to be honest, I personally just don't know enough about this topic to really sufficiently answer the question for you. So I'm going to give my time to Josh.
I won't take that long. But I will say this, resolutions do matter. And I want to tell you a story about why they do. When I got elected to the state senate, I wanted to put a limit on gifts that lobbyists could make to legislators. Georgia was one of 3 states in the nation where there was no limit. This made me very popular at the legislature. The governor didn't want it at the time. The lieutenant governor at the time did not want it. And the Speaker of the House did not want it. And what we did is we went to county parties around the state and we got resolutions passed saying, we want ethics reform. And then we got district conventions to adopt resolutions saying, we want ethics reform. And then we got the state convention to pass a resolution saying, we want ethics reform. We want a gift limit on lobbyists. And Sue Everhart, who was the chairman of the party at the time, she saw that. We had a meeting with Sue and we said, look, the state committee has expressed, the state convention has expressed their will about this. Will you put this on the ballot in July of 2012 statewide in the Republican primary? And she did it because of the resolutions process we went through. And over 80% of Republican primary voters said, yes, we want ethics reform. And before I went to bed that night, the Speaker of the House, who had promised to bury it, said he would introduce it in the 2013 legislative session. So anybody that tells you resolutions don't matter need to check the historical record, because over and over again, that process has brought issues to the fore that have changed our public policy. So it's an important process. It should be handled better. We should make sure people have advance notice of resolutions. We should try to do everything we can to have the deliberation occur, not necessarily on the convention floor, but leading up to the convention, right? So we can handle that process better, but that doesn't mean it should be cast aside or put away, because it's an important tool for the Georgia Republican Party to express its will.
Thank you, Josh. Rebecca, you need me to repeat?
No, I don't need you to repeat that.
I've had this conversation as I've traveled the state. Resolutions are the way for our grassroots voice to be heard. Matter of fact, one of the resolutions that I know floated in many of the districts during this last convention cycle was the removal of Dominion voting machines and the removal of our state from ERIC. I would reckon that one of those resolutions, if not both, will be heard by the state convention. And I can't think of a better way for the grassroots activists of the state of Georgia to send a message to our legislators so that they can hear what is important to us as a party than by passing those types of resolutions. One of the things we have to do a better job of, though, as Republicans, is educating our people on our resolutions process. People think resolutions carry the weight of law, and they don't carry the weight of law. But what they do is they express the intent of the populace who passed them. And I think that's expressly important within our party and how we have discussions. You know, in the 9th District where I was chairman, it was really important to me that our grassroots activists knew what their resolutions were before they got to the convention. It's one of the reasons that you could go to our website for the 9th District and you could click on the resolutions tab and you could see all of the resolutions that were going to be presented. It's one of the reasons that when we emailed out information to our delegates 3 to 5 days prior to the convention, we included the ability for them to click a button and see a PDF of all of the resolutions that were going to be presented. Knowledge is power, and when we equip our grassroots with knowledge, we ensure that their voice is heard.
Okay, thank you. Now now we're going to lead with Josh. And here's a question. This is going to be your last question. And then after we finish this round, each of you will get 5 minutes to wrap up and justify why you. So Josh, tonight here in this forum, with questions from actual delegates and alternates, we're going to post this video on YouTube. We also could do it on Rumble, but we're also got live streaming from Turning Point. The problem that we found putting this on is that state GOP wasn't looking for email addresses. We just wanted to distribute this to all the delegates and the alternates. And it wasn't able to do it. And so frankly, we didn't get near the turnout, and probably not as many viewers or many people aware. So the question to you, and every one of you, will you distribute the links that you have for this to all the state delegates and alternates? And if you happen to get the position, will you change it in the future to bring connectivity so that whether you're young or old, people can make an informed decision and compare and contrast and pick the best candidate?
Yes and yes. Thank you.
Well, if we're doing short and sweet on the last question, the answer is yes. We will be happy to distribute it, and yes, I would be happy to make it readily available.
I second that.
Very good. I tried to make it easy. Okay. Timer, give Rebecca 5 minutes, and it's your turn to wrap up and tell us why.
You let me know when you're ready. Well, I want to start by thanking the Fulton County Republican Party for hosting this forum tonight so that the delegates and alternates, not only here in your county, but across the interwebs who are going to watch this, had the opportunity to hear from the 3 individuals who want to represent them as their next state party chairman. I just got through saying knowledge is power, and I truly believe that we need to have a delegate base that is knowledgeable about where the candidates stand and how they want to represent them. I am Rebecca Yardley, and I do want to be your next state party chairman. Tonight, in my opening statement, you heard a little bit about my base strategy and how it is that I believe that together, you and I can not only bridge the gap to bring unity to our party as we head into a 2024 election cycle, but you've also heard from me about how we can strive to have better accountability in our finances, to support our local parties, and engage and educate our voter base. Those are things that, as I've traveled the state, are extremely important to our delegates and to our alternates. And that's why it was important to me to establish a platform on those topics. We're going to go to a convention in just 35 short days, and you're going to have the opportunity to cast your vote for a candidate. This is what I want you to hear from me tonight. No matter who you cast that vote for, whether it's me, whether it's Josh, whether it's Mr. Fudge, I have no intention of taking my ball and going home. The stakes for the Georgia Republican Party are too high. It will take every Republican in 2024 to ensure that we have victory in defeating the Democrats and their failed policies. And my commitment to you, state chair or no state chair, is I am in it to win it, and I hope you are as well. Because that is where we're at, and the future of our party and our state is at stake. And I'm not looking to run to be your next state party chairman because I need a title or I need something to do. For me, it's a bigger picture than that. It's about my children, and it's about their grandchildren. It's about leaving a legacy that long outlives any of this in this room. You see, we have the opportunity as Republicans to send a clear and concise message to the Democratic Party here in our state that we're not a blue state and that their efforts will be thwarted in 2024 because we are going to unite together to beat them and make sure we are sending a Republican president to to the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why I'm running to be your next state party chairman, and I would be honored to have your vote and your support in Columbus in June. You can find out information about our campaign by going to RebeccaVergier.com, and I thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Rebecca. Ray, for Mr. Futch, this will 5 minutes.
I'm not going to take the full time, I promise. So obviously I'm Ray and I'm not running for anything, but Dennis is, and I joined Dennis in standing for Georgia's Tomorrow because when I was in Georgia, I came as a little refugee. I hail from Michigan, that's why my y'alls don't sound like everybody else's. And when I came because I could not handle being locked in our house anymore. We had a governor who locked us in for 90 days, and then another 90 and another 90 after that, and my mom just told me they finally broke out of COVID last week, so they're very excited in the state of Michigan. But when I was working for the States Party and I needed resources and I needed material and I needed somebody to help me cut down my drive time from hauling all the way from Atlanta from the Florida line, Dennis was there, and that's why I was supportive of his campaign. I can tell you this about Mr. Futch. When he sets his mind to a goal, he gets it done. He is committed to standing together and working together, and like what Ms. Rebecca said, he's committed to not just walking away from the party. He is going to support whoever gets the nomination in June. So I'm not going to ask you to vote for me because I'm not running for anything, but I do ask that you strongly consider who you vote for and who leads the direction of the candidates.
Thank you very much. Josh, 5 minutes, all yours.
So I would join the other candidates in thanking the Fulton County Republican Party for putting this event on tonight. The questions, we got some novel questions this evening. And, we were talking up here on the stage, it's a little bit of a marathon. Now, we asked for this, we want this opportunity, but all of you actually made the decision to come here and hear this tonight, the people watching online, and so I want to thank you as well. I am Josh McCoon. I am seeking this volunteer opportunity to be the state chairman of the Georgia Republican Party. People came to this country originally fleeing religious persecution. Some people were in debtors' prisons, but they were all looking for a new life and hope. And there's no other country to go to if we lose America. And the stakes of the presidential election next year, that's really what got me into this race. I really kind of enjoyed leaving elective politics behind. When I was in the state senate, I got death threats. Somebody tried to run me off the road. It was a very unpleasant thing in a lot of ways. But this is so important. This election that we're about to go through is so vitally important to the future of our country, not just for those of us in this room, but for generations that have not yet been born. And so that's why I'm in this race. And we can do this together. We can win in November of 2024 together. I submit to you that having someone who's been a grassroots activist, who's been an elected official, who's got fundraising experience, and who, yes, is a lawyer who has practiced election law, that I'm here for such a time as this. I believe that. And the plan that we have to bring the party together, to raise the money we need to be successful, to be a resource to county parties through excellent training offered live and on demand, through an election integrity unit that finally says we're going to stand up to Mark Elias and Democrat bullies practicing lawfare because they can't get changes to election law at the Georgia State House, so they run to their favorite federal judge to get it instead. We're not going to let that happen anymore, And the same thing when it comes to communication. I'm tired of being kicked in the teeth. I'm ready for us to fight back. It is time to get serious. And I submit to you, I've got the background, I've got the record to bring this party together, to move us in the direction that we need to go in, so that whoever our nominee is in the best possible position to win in Georgia. Because the Democrats can win without Georgia. I don't believe a Republican candidate for president can become the president without winning here in Georgia. And so we've got a great strategy. We've got people that are ready to go. And we're going to do this together. Just like Rebecca said, win or lose, we've all got to be in this together. Whether it's our favorite candidate or not, we've all got to be in this together. And if we do that, if we come together as Republicans, if we raise the money, it's very important. We got all these programs and projects we're talking about cost money. We raise the money to be successful. We put together these resources. And yes, we change the way we communicate. We communicate to people that we need to join us. We need them to join us. And yes, we recruit candidates in places where we haven't run Republicans in decades. We talk about outreach a lot. The best outreach is your neighbor or somebody you go to church with who knocks on your door and says, I'm running for office because I believe Republican ideas are the best ideas for this country. So we can do those things together. And if we do that, if we execute that strategy, you and I will be celebrating in November of 2024 that we have sent Joe Biden home where he belongs and that we have put the adults back in charge of this country. You can find out more at McCoonforChairman.com. I am Josh McCoon. I am asking for your vote and support on June 10th in Columbus to be your next state chairman. Thank you.
Stephanie Andres, if you don't know me, and I'm the new chair for the Fulton County Republican Party. This is the first time Fulton County has put on and supported something like this up here in North Fulton. These types of events have happened by some grassroots individuals. Tom Corrigan, Karen Dubin have worked together for years to put these on. They started coming to the party, went for chair for the county, and this time Fulton County wanted to sponsor this one, but we worked with Turning Point at the same time. How do we win elections? We start growing our base by joining organizations that have the same principles. So I wanted to thank the candidates for coming out today. It is a hot seat when you're up here getting all these questions and you're rotating around. I wanted to thank Tom and Karen for what they've done. I wanted to thank Orion for being here, and he's going to start a straw poll. So if you're interested, if you want to go ahead and read the QR code, we're just doing a quick straw poll. Nobody's going to know who you are. And then I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you for being here, for taking your time on a Friday night, not being out partying on Cinco de Mayo, but coming here to listen. Thank you for bringing this message to your fellow delegates and alternates who are going to be going to state. Thank the people who are watching this live. And thank you for, if you're going to watch this, that's been recorded and it's put on the YouTube channel. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for researching. This is how we win elections, by connecting with our people, our fellow Republicans, as well as non-Republicans who believe in the same principles: Constitution, low taxes, public safety, and we know our principles, but it's the Constitution that's key. Supporting that Constitution is what gives us our rights, and that's how we are strong Americans. So thank you all for your time. Thank you again. You did a great job. There are other candidates that are here as well, so I'd encourage you to mingle with them since you're going to state. And if you have any questions at all, just stop any one of us and ask us. And thank you again. And thank you everyone for putting this together. Have a great night, and I look forward to seeing everyone at state.